This morning we had a session about evaluability and feasibility assessments. These are very important things to do before evaluations are actually done to help think about what is the intervention about, the one that we want to evaluate, how do we evaluate it, what would be the potential uses of this evaluation.
Before making any presentations about things that you've already done, it would be quite helpful to get an idea of what you are actually doing. So tell me, what have you been doing to implement your plan or to begin making it operational?
The first thing is to choose the steering committee group, the specific group that is going to follow the evaluation. So stakeholders, representatives of organizations that we think that will be useful for the organization and for them as well.
But starting with terms of reference is starting. I mean, in some ways, it's the most important thing that you're going to do. So a focus is different from importance. Importance is overall, should we be doing more here and less there? Do we group things together? Focus is, where in this evaluation do we put the effort? Again, in some plans, these things are already anticipated. In some plans, they're not. In some plans, you might want to revise what you thought was the situation when you started 18 months or 2 years ago.
Then the main point was about the actual experiences of the participants. And we saw that actually quite a few of the participants were doing evaluability and feasibility assessments, especially in questions of data. But that there were also some drawbacks, in particular in terms of thinking about the theory of change, the program theory, which needs to be evaluated.
People are changing all the time, and if there are elections in the middle of the process of this planning and implementing, what do you suggest is the way how we communicate and how where to put it in the map?
One could imagine that in some countries, there are parliamentary committees with particular interest in structural funds or in particular sectors. And very often those committees would have an interest in knowing what is going on. It can be at a very simple level. It can be agreeing on the dates when there will be progress reports or informing them when reports will be available so that if they're interested, they can ask for them. Maybe at that level.
We had an excellent example by Portugal, Pedro Mendes, who talked about their ambitious plan to have 4 big evaluability assessments on the big areas of structural funds in Portugal. And we had a discussion on this.
The preparation of these studies were also a learning process for ourselves. Even before they began, even before we could actually commission the studies, the process of thinking about them, building the theory of programs, the theories of change that the first instance of those theories that we provided the researchers with was a very helpful and fulfilling experience, because it in some ways put us on the shoes of evaluators, and we had a better understanding now of the struggles they face when carrying out the evaluations.
Thank you. Yes, I have a question. It's very interesting what you have done, and as I see, you got a lot of recommendations on the very specific methods. How you are going on with this knowledge? Do you put into your terms of reference the requirements to use of very specific methods, or you give still some liberty during the tender?
We take these recommendations as such, as recommendations, but our goal is, yes, to try to be as specific as possible when we are sure what kind of design, what kind of methods we intend to be used in each evaluation.
I think what I found interesting about Pedro's formulation of it is that he wasn't talking about specifying in a very narrow way the precise everything, but the family of approaches and methods, I think, was what they were focusing on, leaving some freedom within the envelope.
We discussed about evaluability assessment in the morning, but now the thing is, how do you think in terms of evaluability in a practical case? So the participants went back to the working groups with a question about the kind of approach they could use in their case. And of course, they don't know. I mean, we're in a case, in a theoretical case, which is used for learning. It's also about making them more aware that it's actually normal not to know what to do in an evaluation when you're thinking about it early on. So they can identify what they don't know, what they already know, and think about the kind of things that they will need to do in the evaluation process to make them more relevant, more useful.
I think the challenge for us is how to integrate all the activities together so that cumulatively they build up confidence, they build up awareness, and they build up curiosity.